Hello again, everybody, and welcome to one of the most long-awaited Jim Cornette experiences in recent history. Today, we talk about an outlaw mud show. Yes, there's trouble right here in River City. Plus, we review AEW, All Elite Wrestling's Fyter Fest, with a Y, folks. And that's what I'm going to be saying in some instances. Why, folks? To join me in this and so much more, Hawaiian Brian, the podcasting lion, the king of the Arcadian Vanguard podcast network, Mr. Co-host to you. He's the post office playboy, Swammy's pappy, the proprietor of the French Toast Chateau, and he has recently invested in stock in companies that make barbed wire and fluorescent light tubes. Your friend and his, the great Brian Last.
Aloha, Jim. A very highly anticipated episode of the experience. If I say so myself. Sometimes I kind of turn into Gene Okerlund at the top, if you notice. I just also, thank you very much, Jim. I just want to say what a pleasure it is to be here in this lovely city once again. But I know people have been waiting to hear your full review. They heard your fresh thoughts on the pre-show.
We teased it. We teased it with a fresh, hot, steaming helping of aperitif thoughts. And now for the main event today. But before we go anywhere else, I want to thank everybody who was on Twitter last week, and Stacy does the Facebook thing, which I have no idea how to work. So I don't know what's happened on Facebook or who's been on it. But thanks to everybody on Twitter. Stacy's father passed away fairly suddenly. He'd had some health issues, but it suddenly took a turn much worse and passed away this past Sunday night, Monday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning. Yeah. And try to get he lived in very rural Oklahoma, but he was in a hospital in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and try to get a flight from Louisville to Fort Smith, Arkansas on same day notice. But she got down there in time to do the things that need to be done. And she appreciated everybody that sent to, cause she showed her sister, who is not used to being a public figure or having the family members be public figures, just how many hundreds or thousand likes or whatever her Facebook thing got or whatever, And so anyway, thank you everybody for that. Just a update, because I've had several people ask me, and it's, yes, I am going to be making my MLW commitment this weekend because of the suddenness of the situation and families spread out all over the place. There's going to be a memorial service at a later date. So I'm going to be able to make it to Chicago this weekend for MLW, and Stace has been down there in Oklahoma and is going to come. I'm probably going to be going down there. It's going to be a back and forth situation for a while, handling all the stuff. But we appreciated everybody that sent condolences and well wishes and all that stuff. And also in the middle of all this and taking care of the baby, Harley Quinn's been a happy little puppy, and she's got her belly up right now, waiting to be rubbed. But also the Cornette's Collectibles customers have been serviced, as they always are, especially around the holidays. If you ordered by Monday, July 1st at jimcornette.com, some fine Cornette's Collectibles, except for maybe a couple of international orders that we're working on. Everything has been shipped, and schedule is, and I've given up on emails. That's another. I've given up on it. I know a lot of people have emailed me, and I'm getting so many more now than ever that I've pretty much given up the thought of answering everything, because then I would do nothing else but I haven't read a lot in the last week or two. So if you've been trying to get a hold of me by email, if you have another way, if you're that close to the inner circle, please do it. But on a more cheerful note, cerebral palsy has been
well, hold on. You can't do that. On a more cheerful note, cerebral palsy is in the news.
Cheerful note. Cerebral palsy has been discussed here on the program over the last couple of weeks, because I accidentally, as we remember, insulted a pro wrestler, then later found out he had cerebral palsy. I didn't insult him about his cerebral palsy because I didn't know he had it. He was knocking me, saying, "Fuck you, Jim Cornette," on Twitter, and had a picture of himself. He called himself a pro wrestler and had a picture of himself hitting the bicep shot with the body and the whole 9 yards. And I said, I uttered an old line about his physique, right? And then he comes back with, "Well, God, you can't talk about me like that. I'm disabled." I said, "You're a professional wrestler." And everybody else jumps in, right? And come to find out, he is apparently a professional wrestler with cerebral palsy in the United Kingdom. So I apologized on the podcast for making him feel bad, right? Had I known. But in much like a similar situation when John Laurinaitis signed the wrong one-legged wrestler, it has now come to light because I was scrolling down Twitter. This was several days ago. I was scrolling down to Twitter, and all of a sudden I saw somebody say, "Hey, at the Jim Cornette," so I'd see it, "is talking bad about you to somebody that I've never heard of before," right? So I'm like, "What?" And the guy had responded, question mark, like, why? I look at who is this guy? Come to find it, this guy is a professional wrestler in the United Kingdom with cerebral palsy. What are the chances? And it would, and so I think I may have written the guy back and said, "No, it wasn't you." Has there been? I don't understand. But anyway, so I have not insulted anyone knowingly with a handicap this week, and especially to the other wrestler in the UK with cerebral palsy. I never said anything bad about you to begin with. So my hands are clean there. Would you, is that like one of the fucking, would you have figured there was the two one-legged guys or the two? What the fuck?
I'm guessing there's no athletic commission in Great Britain.
Apparently not, because in Kentucky, I told you the story where they licensed the kid that legitimately was in a wheelchair and as a manager or something so that they could do an angle where they brought him in the ring and turned him over. And the fucking Frankfurt the state capital went, "Holy bullshit." And we'll talk about all the people in the state of Kentucky who have been kicked out of the state by the state and now infestate and perpetrate in Indiana here later on in the program. We want to thank everybody for the great feedback, especially on Twitter, but also with the promo code where you saved all them dollar bills. For the Rhino Records, folks, rhino.com, we talked about last week. They got the Woodstock box set, which is the most complete, the most extensive box set in the history of sound recording. On almost everything has been done at Woodstock. But also that we got you the 10% off promo code JCE. If you go to rhino.com, you get 10% off everything in the store except the giant box set, because there's only 1,969 of them in the world being made. And it's, what is it, $799.99 or whatever, but it's going to be a collector's item. But anyway, so we got great feedback, and on Twitter, they tweeted the folks at Rhino, and we appreciate that. But I'm thinking, Brian, with the style that professional wrestling is going in, with all these fucking death matches and daredevil bullshit, is there a doctor in the house, do you think? Should there be a doctor at these things?
Needing medical treatment in White Lake, please see Dr. Dombeck. Dr. Dombeck. The Brown House next to the Citgo station on 17B in White Lake. Anyone needing medical treatment in White Lake, please see Dr. Dombeck. His office is the Brown House next to the Citgo station on 17B.
Not the brown acid, ladies and gentlemen. That was the announcement they were making over the bullhorn at the Outlaw Show in Indiana last week that is probably going to lead to the abolishment of pro wrestling in the state of Indiana. We will still talk about that later, folks. That's a little tease. But anyway, that was from the Woodstock box set at rhino.com. They got everything related to Woodstock at that.
I think we should remind everyone, too, that it's not just the 38 CD, everything but 3 songs box set. There's also a 10 CD box set There's also a vinyl set. So if you're into Woodstock...
And the discount counts on that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I know. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I know.
I'm telling... Hey, who are you talking to me? Who the fuck do you think you are talking to?
Oh, boy. This is the worst. I don't know what this is. New Jersey accent, Italian accent,
well, I'm saying, well, okay, Dennis Coraluzzo, I don't know. Are you talking to James? I wonder what the poor people are doing these days.
That's a little more like Dennis. Yeah.
Anyway, folks, scheduling. We got a drive-through in the can. Thank God. We've had a hectic week, but it will air this Monday as scheduled, and we will have a Jim Cornette experience next week. And for the folks who just can't get enough, that was a disco song. You can go to YouTube at a variety of places. And
that was Depeche Mode. You think Depeche Mode is disco?
I thought, well, there's something around that time period. They all blur. It was the brown acid. That's what it was. But anyway, the YouTube is what I'm talking about now. Don't blister me for my fucking Depeche Mode fucking thumper. The YouTube. Yes, the YouTube. This is where I hand it off to you so you can tell them.
If you just can't get enough, you can go to YouTube and listen to the show over and over again. Share it with your friends. Hear individual clips as well as full episodes, all with amazing and exclusive Travis Heckel artwork. And I got to say, Jim, that artwork is getting rave reviews. People in the comments go crazy over what Travis has been doing, and some of the artwork really is amazing. You need to check that out. And that, of course, is tinyurl.com/officialcornyyoutube, or just go to YouTube and search for Jim Cornette. And according to the statistics, that's the way the majority of you end up on that page.
I understand that Travis Bickle's artwork.
It's Heckel.
That's what I said. That people now are just going to YouTube and just clicking on the YouTube and just looking at the artwork with the sound down. So that's why our listens are so up.
Well, there's a lot of rumors that there are hidden messages somewhere in the video. You have to watch the whole thing, and a word pops up for a millisecond.
I buried Paul.
Obey.
Anyway, yes, but and we got the on the buses too, the on the bus segments.
There's on the bus segments, there's clips, and then of course there's full episodes. Of course, you can go there and check out the playlists, and everything is broken up nice and neat, just like Jim Cornette's personal vault and his personal wrestling collection.
I thought you were broken up nice and neat. I thought it was just like my personal life. Speaking of my personal life, I'll be in public, if you will. This Saturday, July the 6th for MLW in Chicago. It's the live Kings of Coliseum special on BN Sports, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 Central, and you do the math across the rest of the hemisphere. You can watch me live, or you can be there live if you hurry, because it's almost, this will be three sellouts in a row in Chicago, I believe, for MLW. July 12th through the 14th, I'll be at the Fanboy Expo in Knoxville. First time ever. Looking forward to that. July 13th only, Bobby Eaton, Dennis Condrey, Stan Lane, the original members of the Midnight Express will be there all day, and we'll be doing the 35th anniversary reunions, photo ops, whole thing. I'll have Cornette's Collectibles there all weekend. Looking forward to seeing you. And August 15th through the 18th at The Gathering, presented by Team Art Promotions in Charlotte, North Carolina. You can go to jimcornette.com and click on events and appearances for all of the websites that'll take you to all the various things. But The Gather, they've got a ton of folks. Go look up The Gathering's website, and it's an amazing array of wrestling stars that are going to be there in Charlotte at the Hilton University Place, the scene of some of our greatest triumphs. And otherwise than that, at this point until at least October, these are probably going to be the only times I'm going to be appearing in public with new travel commitments. Obviously, I've got personally. So get me while you can, those 3 places. And what are you doing this week?
It would be a good end to the story. You go back to where you had your greatest success early in your career in Mid-South, Oklahoma, and that's where the book ends.
What what? I'm not planning on ending the book. I'm just not going to travel for a couple months with wrestling appearances while I'm doing all these other things that I'm going to be doing. Don't kill me off yet.
Well, whether you're traveling or whether you're sitting in a shack in the middle of nowhere That's plenty of opportunity to listen to the finest wrestling podcast out there today, the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network. Want to mention the Mid-South Wrestling Television Review Podcast with myself and Mike Mills. We are at one of the all-time great episodes of Mid-South Wrestling. I think if there's a top 5, this has to be, if not number 1, it's very close.
I was going to say number 4.
You were going to say number 4? Well, of course.
I was going to say number 4.
We are talking about Loser of the Fall leaves town, no disqualification. The Junkyard Dog and Mr. Olympia, the Mid-South Wrestling Tag Team Champions, against Ted DiBiase, the North American Champion, and supposed to be Hacksaw Duggan. Unfortunately, he has been detained, and Grizzly Smith has not been able to get any information to get him out of jail. So Ted DiBiase has flown in a newcomer, Matt Bourne, to be his partner. And this is one of the greatest episodes of Mid-South Wrestling. Hear our coverage of it this week at midsouthpod.com or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Obviously, I guess if we're going to talk top Mid-South episodes, Jim, which episode you think is better? You getting your face in the cake or Watts getting attacked? Which episode? Complete episode from beginning to end.
Oh, so yes, because it was 2 separate episodes.
That's right.
I have to say Watts getting attacked because that's what drew the money.
Well, we will have a discussion about things like this. Once again, check out the Mid-South Show. Also want to make mention, Breaking Kayfabe with Baldrett and Barry. This coming week, there is an interview with Sean Royal that apparently is off the charts wild and X-rated at times. We'll see how much makes the air. But you need to hear how much makes the air at baldrinpod.com or wherever it is that you find your favorite podcast. Also, wherever it is that you go, check out and look for John Arezzi's Pro Wrestling Spotlight Then and Now, Kentucky Fried Wrestling, Stick to Wrestling with John McAdam and Sean Goodwin, Ron Fuller Studcast, and of course, the 605 Super Podcast, the Mothership!
Jeez, I thought you'd calm down recently.
As episode 100 is being worked on, get ready for a holiday Star Wars. It'll be out sometime on the holiday. Stay tuned for that. This is where me and several of the very popular guests and co-hosts from the program get together, and it's a freewheeling show. Very, very minimal
freewheeling. Freewheeling.
What did I
Minimal
say?
editing. Minimal edit. This must be the most freewheeling fucking show imaginable, because the only thing you ever edit out is when I just basically say shit that would get us kicked off the fucking planet.
Footloose and fancy free. Check it out. 605pod.com or wherever it is that you find your favorite podcast. And thank you so much to all the new listeners and everyone who's been going through the catalog. It's really neat to know that people still dig all the old shows and getting caught up to where we are right now. So thank you. The Mothership.
I'm writing that down. Footloose, and that's going to go in your intro next week. He's footloose and fancy free, folks.
I like that.
All right. You know, I hate first, but and we'll get to All Elite Wrestling. I'm going to talk about a different event at first that still made a lot of news. I hate it when I'm right. You know how much I hate to tell people over and over, just browbeat them with it. I told you so. I told you so. You know, I hate that. I despise, I loathe that. It disgusts me to have to do that, especially on such a regular basis, because I'm right all the time. But in this case, guess what I was, Brian?
There's so many possibilities here. I don't know exactly what it could be.
No, guess what I was?
You were right again?
I was right. Yeah, I was right. People, did you see this? I haven't even run over this really with you. You have no idea before we go on the air really what's going on. We've never even met before. You just picked it from the audience at random to co-host the show. But did you see the health advisory issued by the state of Indiana?
Let me just tell you what I know, and then you can take it from there. All right. I heard about this story. I heard where it was. I said, oh boy. Just thinking I know all your stories. And then, obviously, I'm seeing all these different news stories, and it seems to be really getting a lot of coverage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. It was the lead. I'm not talking about on wrestling Twitter, folks. This was the lead story on every single local station's 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 11 o'clock newscasts on the day in which it became a story. Go ahead.
But the part that I couldn't believe, that it was too amazing. I said, this can't be real. Was that they said that apparently it was Ian Rotten's son,
yes,
who was the promoter of this fine event.
Yes. So to fill everybody in, this popped up on Twitter last week first, and then all of it because the advisory was issued, and then it became a news story. They had a promotion, and I use that term very if this, I may exaggerate the usage of Outlaw Mud shows sometimes and blunt its impact, but if there was ever an Outlaw Mud show of Outlaw Mud shows, the absolute creme de la creme of the shite de la shite, the worst of the worst, the smell that would gag a maggot off a gut wagon, that would bluff a buzzard off of a carcass. A company, and I use this term loosely also, called Trainwreck Wrestling, ran a show, a deathmatch show, at a building in New Albany, which is right across the river from Louisville, Kentucky. It's across the Ohio River in the state of Indiana, New Albany, Indiana, but it's literally 2 miles from downtown Louisville. And this building, it's in the worst neighborhood in New Albany, and I've seen pictures of it. The front windows are boarded up, and that's not from the wrestling show. That's its current status. It had to be some kind of old gas station or old convenience store or whatever the fuck. It's barely big enough. They got a ring in this fucking thing, and I saw a picture. The video of everything just shoots a blank wall behind the ring. But I saw a picture that I think there's probably like 25 or 30 people in this fucking thing. But you can't tell who the wrestlers and who the marks are. In this case, they are marks to go to this thing. And who's with, one of the boys or whatever the fuck. It's just a bunch of the same looking people that go to these fucking things, in and out of the ring, fucking milling about. Right? So anyway, apparently the promoter of this event, we have been told, is the son of the piece of shit fat fuck Ian Rotten that was doing this shit 20 years ago in the state of Kentucky, which is the reason why that the number one, that Kentucky has some of the most stringent rules on all professional wrestling of any state athletic commission in the country. It's why that the WWE didn't run a Raw or SmackDown TV or pay-per-view here for over 10 years, because they went so far in the opposite direction in result of this freak show, garbage, bullshit, deathmatch wrestling, that even if you were to accidentally get a fucking nosebleed, you would have to end the match on pay-per-view. That would get over. So anyway, the point is 20 years ago, Ian Rotten doing this shit, the state commission, it made state laws to run this type of shit out of the state. And Frankfurt went crazy, and they rescinded Ian Rotten's license. They rescinded his fucking wrestling license. I think they yanked his driver's license. And so all these Ian Rotten and his ilk, the garbage deathmatch bunch, went across the river and started running in Indiana. And they had already spoiled wrestling's reputation in Kentucky with a lot of schools and the National Guard armories. OVW, we spent several years trying to build our reputation back, and then we finally were able to establish good relations with the commission because we could follow the rules. We were professional, and the fans knew they were going to get a good event and all that stuff, and we got good publicity, but it took a while. It hurt the business. And meanwhile, they were over there in Indiana where nobody could do anything about them, because Indiana used to have an athletic commission years ago, and they may still for boxing, but they deregulated wrestling at the behest of the wrestling promoters, mostly in the late 70s, I believe it was, if not early 80s. Because at that point, with the established territories, with Bruiser in Indianapolis, with Jarrett running Evansville, but Bruiser owned the whole state, it was another tax you had to pay. They didn't have to worry about outlaw promotions in those days. Bruiser owned the whole state of Indiana. Were you going to run opposite Dick the fucking Bruiser, for fuck's sake, right? There was very little outlaw wrestling in the state of Indiana. The professional promotions, the territories, knew how not to go too far and get bad publicity and bring heat on the business and get to the point where they might have government regulation. And so when you didn't have an athletic commission in those days, unless it was one that helped the established territory promoter, which there were those in Louisiana. They were on Bill Watts's side because they knew that he was doing consistent business. I remember in Richmond, Virginia, in 1986, Ric Flair cussed the fuck out of the local Virginia Athletic Commission representative because they were letting Vince come in. And he was right. Jim Crockett Promotions, over the period of time that they had been running the state of Virginia, had paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions, over that long a period of time of dollars in taxes to the state and to the Athletic Commission. And we're still doing big business. And here they're going to let the WWF come in and run opposite and et cetera. That was, if the commission wasn't there to protect the established promoter, then what the fuck was it there for? To take the tax and make the wrestler pay for a license and blah, 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 and do fuck all else. They provided no other service in a lot of cases besides taking your blood pressure. And you should, some of these doctors that used to take the guy's blood pressure from these state commissions didn't look like they had a blood pressure. So anyway, the promoters in those cases wanted to get the commissions abolished because it didn't really help. There was no pro-am or just amateur wrestling bullshit like this going on that was causing anywhere of this attention, right? So Indiana's been deregulated. And Ian Rotten's had his ups and downs, and he runs a show every now and then where he's, oh, if you don't come, I'll go out of business. And, at one point we reported on the program, he was working at a Taco Bell drive-thru in a shitty part of town. And some of the other outlaws stooged him for having hepatitis, so he was having to run the cash register with fucking rubber gloves on while they adjudicated that situation. There's your hardcore deathmatch king, folks. So anyway, Trainwreck Wrestling last weekend in New Albany, Indiana, promoted by Ian Rotten's son in a fucking barn. Actually, that's an insult to barns. They have light tubes, and they have barbed wire, and they have tables, and they have doors, and they have all this bullshit, and they have these guys in fucking jeans doing this shit. And you see some of the highlights on the 6 o'clock news. One guy dove headfirst out of the ring into a grocery shopping cart filled with light tubes, and glass flew everywhere. And another one fucking went through another table somewhere, and they were fighting out in the crowd, and one bloody guy was spitting all over another bloody guy. But the real star of the show was apparently, I don't know how I'm supposed to say this, I'm going to come out with it, a very large midget. He was not a midget per se in that he was the height of a midget, but he wasn't the height of a full-grown person, and he had body characteristics that would make you think this is the tallest midget I've ever seen. So I don't know what else to say.
So not in terms of weight. You're not talking, when you say the world's largest midget, you're not talking...
No, tall. He was tall. He had pretty good lat spread. He had pretty good upper body on him, but he was a tall midget. And he was power-bombed off the top rope by this other mud show goof, through light tubes stretched across chairs sitting on a table down to the ground. And then in the clip that they showed on the 6 o'clock news, then some other guy just rolls this fucking large midget right just over and over rolls him out of the ring through all this broken glass so that he can go put a big boot to the fucking guy that just did the power bombing. And apparently the large midget's father is pissed off as all hell because he was interviewed and said that he tried to talk his son out of it, but he wouldn't listen, and he couldn't believe they didn't have medical staff there because they took him to the hospital and he got 5 internal stitches and 40 staples. They showed the pictures on the 6 o'clock news on every station about what these fucking crazy, goofy lunatics in this fucking crack building in New Albany are doing professional wrestling. And then, of course, poor OVW, they've already had Al Snow's one of his new partners, his spokesman, saying, please, this is not what we do. This is not professional wrestling. The same thing I was having to do 20 years ago here because of these fucking cretins. So anyway, then once that the guy went to the hospital and they asked, what happened to you? Did you go through the windshield or whatever the fuck? Well, then the health department was notified. The Floyd County Health Department issued a warning to all of the people, the fans who went to see this fucking show or anybody who was on the building to go be tested for HIV and hepatitis because of the amount of bodily fluids and blood spraying around everywhere. Then this fucking lying sack of shit fucking Ian Rotten's son put out the statement that all of our performers are tested and actually put up a picture. I think I saw this on Twitter of it's like a B-roll picture of a fucking blood test for him, right? No, because the fucking large midget's father said, well, he didn't get tested till 5 days afterwards, after the show. But the reason why that these fucking morons are in the state of Indiana over there is because they don't have to get tested, because they don't have to get a license, because they don't have to get nothing except let some idiot rent them these fucking buildings that then they fucking leave blood laying all over that's how they got kicked out of one of their buildings there before. The fucking kids came in to fucking play roller skating and there was blood smeared all over the fucking floors. That got over with the parents.
That's awful.
So they got kicked out of that anyway. So they put out, and of course this makes news. If you went to a wrestling show, go get tested for AIDS, right? This made some fucking news, and it was put out by the Floyd County Health Department. Then people start calling. Well, who's responsible for this shit? They called the Floyd County Gaming Commission because they got casino gaming over there on the river, right? Well, they don't have anything to do with this shit. They called the fucking Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. They said on it, well, they don't know what the fuck's your pro wrestling death matches, right? Then it's all over the fucking news. There have already been people, the city council held a hearing to ban what they call extreme wrestling. So now you got a bunch of people on a city council that don't have any idea of what wrestling is to begin with, and they're going to define what extreme wrestling is so they can ban it. So that may mean that OVW, or if the WWE, for fuck's sake, came to goddamn New Albany, Indiana, if they ever built a big building across the river to have a regular wrestling show, well, maybe, you got to follow these rules and that rules because you can't have any extreme wrestling. More importantly than that, with the city council being, and not only did they have a meeting about it, but there were people there not protesting, but what are they pitching it, promoting the idea that somebody ought to be keeping an eye on shit like this, which is going to lead to, okay, now they're going to take it to fucking state government. And then who are they going to reinstate an athletic commission in Indiana to monitor wrestling? Or are they just going to say, we don't want to do that. Why the fuck are we allowing this shit to go on to begin with? Let's just not have this shit. Then we won't have to fuck with it. Oh, I guess we can have WWE because everybody knows who they are. They're worth a lot of money. But every other wrestling promotion, just fuck that because they're the only good ones, right? You never know what's going to go on these people's fucking minds. Once you have called enough attention to your stupid actions and your irresponsible ways and your garbage shows that no sane, rational people would want to be a part of, watch, perform in, or fucking look at. Once you have done all that, then people start making decisions for the entire wrestling business just because of your worthless fucking stupid asses that want to that have such a morbid need to be known as somebody in front of a few fucking freaks and weirdos that are entertained by that kind of thing. Same people that go to fucking watch chickens fight. You want to be a star and carve yourself up and cut yourself up because you're a fucking mental case and you're a goof and you're an idiot. You have no talent. You're a loser in life. And you want to do this freak show shit. So that means that now the state government's going to step in and decide what kind of professional wrestling that everybody can see when you're not even professional wrestling to begin with. You are the shit that collects on the tread of the boots of professional wrestling when it walks through a fucking field that dogs have been grazing in. That's what hardcore wrestlers are. And you get to determine now, with your fucking stupidity, The wrestling that everybody may get to see in the state of Indiana because you call why are they not allowed to call themselves professional basketball players if they charge $5 to a playground somewhere to watch a bunch of fucking jackoffs play bad pickup basketball? They can't call themselves professional basketball players, right?
I wouldn't think so, no.
What's the fucking difference? So anyway, that if only somebody could have said this beforehand, if only somebody could have said, you know, if you do shit like that, sooner or later you're going to attract enough attention that you're going to get fucking in trouble with the government. Who could have said that? If somebody had only known, if somebody had been prescient enough, if somebody had been not Nostradamus, but Nostradamus, if somebody had predicted the future based on the goddamn shit that was sitting in front of your fucking face, maybe we could have avoided all of this. Speaking of what was sitting in front of my fucking face for about 3 hours.
That you could have avoided.
That I could have avoided. That I knew better. And yet, no. Before we get into this, let me just say that All Elite Wrestling's Fyter Fest was not as bad as All Elite Wrestling's Double or Nothing.
Well, and that's a surprising take from you.
Well, we're going to start with positivity, and there's several reasons I say that, because I saw a couple things I liked, also because they'd improved in a couple of areas, also because the Battle Royal was not a part of the show, because I know, and we teased it on the drive-through, the tease of, because I watched the pre-show, and then as soon as I got to knock it off, motherfucker, find a new line of work is his new name. Knock it off and find a new line of work, motherfucker, versus Jabali. I quit watching the show because I was so fucking insulted. But it still wasn't as bad as the Battle Royal, which is probably the worst thing now that I've reflected on it. The Double or Nothing Battle Royal beats the boxing match between Dennis Coralluzzo and Tommy Fierro in Jersey about 20 years ago as the worst thing that I've ever seen perpetrated under the guise of professional wrestling.
Wow.
So this was an improvement, and we'll go through in detail now, since we just teased a few things on the drive-through. The announcing, they changed announcers. Poor Alex Marvez, the poor beleaguered Alex Marvez was not there. I assume that either he or they have realized that that's the best thing for him not to be there. The pre-show was done by Excalibur, who's still wearing the mask, a guy named Golden Boy, and Logan Sana, who is a British fellow from the sound of him, and he has some potential. And Golden Boy, I don't have a fucking clue who he is or where he came from, wasn't bad himself. And Excalibur was better as an announcer. If they wouldn't do announcer on cameras, I wouldn't have a problem with Excalibur. Because every time they do it on camera, I'm reminded the fact that he's an outlaw guy in a fucking mask. If he took the mask off and had a legitimate name, he would probably be in one of the top 5, as it was, since we quantified things that way earlier, color guys that I've heard lately. But it's just outlaw to look at him. Golden Boy, I don't know why none of the announcers get just real names. The Sam's Jones was taken, but...
Well, I think one of them, and it may be Golden Boy, I'm not sure because I don't know who any of these people are other than Excalibur and Jim Ross, but one of them I think was aligned with the video game festival. So they're not a normal wrestling announcer.
Okay, he did a better job than Alex Marvez, so that if that'll tell you anything. All right, the opening match. Private Party versus SCU versus Best Friends.
Yes.
Private Party has some energy on their entrance, and they, good-looking young men. Of course, SCU is Kazarian and Scorpio Sky in this incarnation, and we know they're fantastic. And Best Friends is the invisible hand grenade guy, and Beretta, the guy that needs to dump his fucking chunky, fat, dumpy fucking partner with a bad haircut. And their entrance video consists of hand holding and hugging, not them hand holding, just hands holding each other and people hugging each other. I don't fucking know. Anyway, it's a three-way tag. It made it confusing and hard to pick somebody to cheer for, but I don't even know that. Not only does this audience not want somebody to cheer for and somebody to boo like normal folks, but I don't think that most of the people in this company know how to give that to them, with a few notable exceptions we'll talk about. But just some of my notes. SCU, grown men, athletes, perform their shit at a high level. Beretta, very good. But Private Party, it's a tag team, but there's a guy in Private Party named Mark Quinn, to me, stole the show. And did you see this at all, by the way?
Did you see the pre-show? I saw parts of the pre-show. I was in and out during the pre-show. Until the librarian.
Okay, well, I'll tell you. Anyway, Mark Quinn, he did the moonsaults and the flips and the springboards and all that stuff, but he got extra height. He was more graceful. He did it seemingly more effortlessly, and he looked more precise and on target than a lot of these outlaw guys just flipping around. Where they land on you, and they'll apologize. This guy, to me, athletically, he looked like he knew what he was doing. He was in this three-way tag, so you can't tell. Does he have any basics? I have no idea. I have no idea where he trained, how long he's been working. But from the athletic display that I saw, if I was AEW or whoever's in charge of it, of creative, I would pull this guy out of this tag team. I would send him to a legitimate school, not to appear in front of people, but just to evaluate and possibly polish his basics and his positioning and timing and things like that, that if you go to a good school, and there are a few of them, you will learn from top people. And I would evaluate whether he can fucking talk and how we can make him talk, or make people think he can talk if he can't talk, and what kind of personality he's got, because I didn't really get his gimmick as far as the costume he was wearing. We used to call that shiny stuff pleather or whatever, and it was kind of orange and bright or whatever the fuck. This is where it benefits to have a fucking budget like these guys do, because this would be a WWF Creative Services thing and not the Chili McFreeze. But he's a young black kid who there aren't a lot of African-American top superstars in the business. And we've seen with instead of just trying to appeal to the independent wrestling fan, can they not appeal to, for example, Rey Mysterio in the WWE? He appealed to the Hispanic audience because he was one of them, and he was a luchador, and he had the history. But he also appealed to the kids because his outfit was so cool, and he did the flying stuff. And he also appealed to I won't even say hardcore wrestling fans, to the knowledgeable, to the discerning wrestling fans who like good talent and good wrestling. He appealed to them because he was fucking great. You had a lot of demographics. This guy could be a superhero. I haven't seen the Black Panther movie, right? So, if you got this guy a cool outfit and you made him some, not cartoony superhero, but some kind of cool guy that would rely on flying around, and he would appeal to the kids, but also if he can work, he'd appeal to the wrestling fans, and also he'll appeal to these high spot fans, and also he'd be a top black star. You've got a bunch of demographics checked. I like this guy. I'd like to see more of him, but I hope he has basics and can talk. And of course, I heard that they signed the team afterwards, and that's fine too. There wasn't anything wrong with the other guy. He was partners with a guy that there's something special about. But I see the guy as a single. I see him using him as a top guy if the rest of his talent will bear that. But this was, once again, it's just a cold three-way, and I'll explain the word cold. Doesn't mean that the match sucked or the match was cold or the crowd was cold or whatever. A cold match means opponents put against each other with no angle behind it or no issue or no, real grudge or anything, just a matchup of 3 teams to do a bunch of stuff. And unfortunately, with this audience, the biggest pop was for the best friends fucking hugging, which is fucking stupid, so stupid and niche that they might be in their echo chamber and think this is going to fucking fly every week on TNT. My notes, Taylor is the shits. Everybody else was fine. Quinn's a superstar. But then here's where they made their mistake, which they did a lot of cases with the finishes. This guy hits a splash off the top to a huge fucking pop. I think it was a goddamn backflip fucking splash. A huge pop and got a 2 count. And then the match died. Everything died down. Go back and watch it, everybody. Watch where Mark Quinn hits the big splash off the top, the huge pop, the 2 count. If it had been 3, a new superstar would have been crowned in professional wrestling. But instead, it was a kick out, and then everybody goes, pfft. Then they all did some more stuff. Then Mark Quinn hits another big move, and his partner covered because it was kind of a double team thing, but Quinn hit the big part, and there was a huge pop, and 1, 2, and then there was a kick out, where another time they had one more chance at it, that place, the roof could have blown, and they could have created a huge star. Here's Mark Quinn. But they kicked out, and then the best friends won. And who gives a shit? So
now they get, what was it? They get a bye in the first round of the tag team tournament?
I don't know. I don't fucking know. How many tag teams you got if you get a bye in the first round? Anyway, then the lights went out, and then suddenly slobs in masks surrounded the best friends and stood there forever. And then the lights were out forever, and then they came back on, and the goons were gone, and the people booed. So that ain't gonna get over either, folks. The Young Bucks did some bad comedy, spoofing a documentary of some description, and Omega told them their gear was lost, but he got them new outfits, and they kicked some models out because they were over budget, because they had models on the stage, and they brought out a couple of mannequins to take the models' place. The live models there were giggling. I'm sure the live anorexic models who probably had a fucking Marlboro Light, a Diet Pepsi, and a finger down their throat for fucking lunch are giggling at the stupidity of these wrestling people and their bad fucking comedy this point.
It hit me during this that it's not that these guys want to go up against the WWE because they hate that whole world, including the bad comedy and scripted promos. It's that they want to write their own bad comedy. They don't resent the idea of the bad comedy. It's just they don't want someone else's. They want to do their own.
Well, they did. And then here came the goddamn librarians. The male one and the female one. Leva Bates and Peter the Pumpkin Eater. And they shushed each other and had goofy material that they delivered awkwardly. And Allie's entrance interrupted them, thank God. And then we had Leva versus Allie. And since I was so insulted by the stupidity of the librarians, I picked this opportunity to skip ahead.
I watched it.
How was it?
First of all, again, for all the good of AEW, I'm going to say something bad, which means that they'll label the whole show as being bad about AEW. For all the good of AEW, some of this stuff is bad WWE material. It's stuff that it's like they want to do it on WWE as opposed to make wrestling better. And the librarian gimmick is awful. However, I have to say there was one point during the match, I was just watching this incredulous. Like, how could this be? Like, how did this get on the air? And then I just lost it in hysterics because at one point, because they were cutting the camera way too much, just back and forth. And she's hitting her opponent, Allie, I think you said. She's hitting Allie, and after every time she hits her, she goes, shh. But then they start cutting in the guy at ringside. So she hits her, shh, and then the other guy, shh, and back to her, shh.
Oh,
and
good Lord.
And I just cracked at that point. I was like, what is this? But those fans there like it. I wonder if they would like it if the WWE did the same silly thing. They wouldn't.
Well, of course not. And actually, and that's why, thankfully, If I hadn't skipped ahead, then I would have never seen the fucking garbage match coming up next and made me quit watching the whole show for a while. Oh, and Omega did some comedy. And the thing is, when he does anything, it's not funny because he looks too goofy to be funny. But he did some comedy about the bands pulling out of the No Bands Came to Play of the festival that they're doing a parody of or whatever the fuck and blah, blah, blah. So here we go. This is the last match on the pre-show. And then we will get to some compliments. I promise you, but it'll be a minute. A one fall 20-minute hardcore match. A hardcore match with a time limit. They brought back time limits, but the first one they really announced isn't a hardcore match. They fucking, everybody around there has fucking steel-toed boots on because they keep shooting themselves in the foot so much. It is Naka, fuck you. I'm tired of seeing you already against Alex Jabali, who is not a wrestler. He is the CEO of the gaming convention that put this whole thing on. And we did a discussion on the drive-through this past Monday about how you can get away with using sponsors and non-wrestling people in some positions and ways and places. And this wasn't it. And not only that, but they devalued or completely destroyed the idea of a hardcore match anyway, or any kind of no rules match by making it a joke match with a non-wrestler and a joke wrestler. Naka fuck you did a promo and I have no idea what he was fucking saying. It broke out into an amateur class training match. Then the Naka fuck you used the baby oil to get out of a waist lock. They did phony bullshit with a mark wrestling. They fought into the kiddie pool and hit each other with blow up fucking floatable toys. The Naka fuck you took his thong off and tried to stuff it in the fucking gaming guy's mouth. The gaming guy dropped Naka fuck you on his head in an awkward bump into plastic gimmicks. And then more shit, and then Naka fuck you won. And that was so embarrassing to anybody that's ever considered themselves a professional in the wrestling industry that at that point I said, fuck this. I have to watch this show for the podcast. I've promised, but I'm not going to watch it now. I'm going to come back tomorrow to when I've got the taste out of my mouth because that was ridiculous. And so once again on there, and this was not lost on Twitter. And a lot of people saying this now. I was one of the first ones a while back, but people are starting to pick up on it. They do more to run off new viewers on their pre-shows than they do to get people to come to their regular shows with the pre-show. They might have more viewers for their regular show if they didn't air a pre-show.
Why not have Jim Ross on the pre-show if he's one of the selling points?
Well, then, are you kidding? Would you think Jim Ross would want to fucking call a goddamn match like the fucking fuck?
Oh, there's plenty. I think he may not have wanted to call.
Well, that's true. Anyway, all right. Anyway, the main show. They did. This is where once again. This is why I'm so disappointed and so dismayed that they have a tremendous opportunity here and they're going to blow it because they're not experienced enough or they can't be serious enough or they just can't see what the fuck is in front of them. But they had an incredible cold open production. They had a great voiceover talent. They had incredible editing. The writing was tremendous. This production, this is not... At this level, this shit ain't cheap. It costs a fortune. It takes talented, experienced people that lit that arena, that set the stages up. They are spending money on this. And certain people, I don't know who's responsible for what, so I'm just going to say the people that I'm knocking need to get their shit together, and the people that I'm praising need to do more shit. Because they have a golden opportunity here and they're gonna fucking blow it with more of this goddamn silly horse shit. Anyway, here came Jim Ross. Thank God. Golden Boy and Excalibur. And these guys, it was a much better announced team all the way around. Even Golden Boy, if Golden Boy is a gaming announcer and he was better than the fucking supposed wrestling announcer they had on their first show, maybe they need to fucking sign this guy up too. And once again, Excalibur, if it just take the mask off. He doesn't. There's no room for a gimmick there. It's not necessary. They got enough in the ring.
Plus, at a certain point in the match, he just starts yelling out moves.
He's way too. After you've called the name of 2 or maybe 3 moves that a wrestler does that he has named himself special to him, once you go deeper than that into the fucking deep tracks, you're getting a little too detailed. But point is, at least it's there.
Yeah.
Daniels and Shima was the first match, and already they explained the wrestler's background somewhat, so that was better. It was a nice, athletic, modern style match. Once again, it's a cold match. They don't necessarily have a grudge. I know their factions have fought, but this is not like a Mid-South Wrestling grudge match. They do a lot of intricate spots, but they are skilled enough and veteran enough that it doesn't either show egregious cooperation or it's not overtly choreographed. There appears to be some struggle and some surprise to the things that come up in their spots. They sold, they registered, the match made sense. Once again, just a cold opener, but nice work. As a matter of fact, Shima hit this double knee finish and went over. If it's not stiff, and it didn't look like it was to the other guy, but it's going to cause him some fucking knee problems. But it was beautiful, and I've never seen anything like that. That was cool. So why they wouldn't put something like this on a pre-show to entice you to come to the main meal, I have no idea. Instead of the silliness and the tomfoolery that they put as supposed to get people's first taste of their product. All right. Now here we go. They go to another 3-way. They have more 3-ways at a swingers club, I'm telling you. But this was a women's 3-way. Riho versus Nyla Rose versus Yuka Sakazaki. Rio, and it's not Rio as in De Janeiro, but I think Riho, or anyway, they're both young Japanese lady wrestlers. And they both of them look like they're 12 years old, and they both of them weigh about 80 pounds. And they were wearing, one of them was wearing like a dress, a full-length dress and flamboyant outfits. And here's Nyla. And now I have to be careful because I also, during the great homophobia controversy, somebody was defending me saying that, well, he can't be homophobic because he was putting Nyla Rose over. And I didn't know that she was gay till at that point. But regardless, I am critiquing, I want to say this as a blanket statement. I'm critiquing wrestlers. I don't know who they're with, what they think, or what their orientation is, or why I'm critiquing wrestlers here on today's program. And Nyla Rose comes out looking fucking great in this goddamn outfit, and she's a Native American, right? So the Native American, the beast or whatever the fuck. The point is, I'm thinking this is going to be a kind of a squash showcase for Nyla Rose, right? So I'm with this because these other two girls, it wasn't just the size. They were awkward. It wasn't like Manami Toyota, for fuck's sake. They were awkward. Their shit wasn't smooth. They were so incredibly light that they didn't even make any noise in the ring when they took a bump. It was just two kids instead of, what you and I of our generation would think as Japanese lady wrestlers, right? So at first, it was a spotlight where the Japanese girls, even though it was a 3-way, they cooperated with each other to do the big girl, little girl spots. And it was Andre-like, right? Somebody halfway smart put together the first 5 minutes of this match. Because Nyla Rose was double suplexing them, and she was just invulnerable. She needs a little work projecting menace in both her body language and her facials like Awesome Kong does, and just more and more consistently. She'd have a facial and she'd lose it, but it's there, right? The only thing I was going to pick apart was she did an up and over clothesline. As well, one of these girls only ain't 5 feet tall anyway, is coming off the ropes, and Nyla Rose did a clothesline that wouldn't have hit her on the top of the head. And up and over. I used to scream at the guys at OVW or any wrestling seminar. That's how I got the job with Dusty first in the Superdome. Our locker rooms were separate. The first time we worked with him, I sent word back saying, when I swing, please duck. I will swing for your head. I've been told to. And later on, when I actually first met him, he says, "You the kid is going to knock me out in the Superdome." But anyway, but then all of a sudden, she goes from there. Nyla Rose is invulnerable to they sidelined her on the floor and started working amongst themselves, and I lost complete interest. Then it became 2 80-pound girls doing phony strikes and green gymnastics. Then Nyla Rose gets back in, and these are my contemporaneous notes. I did not know the finish at the time I watched this. Nyla Rose gets back in and has to sell for these 2 schoolgirls, and then one of them kicked out on a sidewalk slam. What the fuck? Right? If this had been a squash win for Nyla Rose and had ended with her, and she did a big splash on both girls right at the end of her first flurry, right? First 3 or 4 minutes of the match or whatever. If it had been ended with that big splash, 1, 2, 3, I would have given this 4 stars because even though there was a few awkward spots, because it was choreographed, they would have got across what they need to get across. They would have made a star. It would have had a purpose. It would have been great. The rest of it from there on completely shit the bed. Nyla Rose tries to get it back. She hit at one point. Once again, she had to be sidelined for these other girls, and then she had to sell for these other girls, and one of them kicked out on her. Then at one point, she did, imagine Tully Blanchard's slingshot suplex, but you hang the guy over the top rope, right? By the stomach.
Right.
She hangs one of the girls like that and then goes to the top, and she's got to go 250. I hope I'm not insulting a lady with that, but she goes to the top. The girl's halfway in the middle of the ring. She does a flying knee drop to the back of the girl's head. Boom. And got a pop, and it looked fucking good. Guess what wasn't the finish? I would have saved that. If I was in a girls' match, I'd save it for a hospitalization angle when you really need to get heat on her against a top girl. So then, after all that happened, old Riho, remember her? Guess what she did? She small packaged Nyla Rose 1, 2, 3. And then Nyla Rose went to get her heat back on both girls, and both girls foiled her and drop kicked her out of the ring. And the announcers were even tried to make excuses. Well, Nyla Rose should have won that match a few times she had the opportunity, because they knew that it was fucking stupid. They've got a girl, Dr. Britt Baker, right? She was on Double or Nothing, and we mentioned, and there was a 4-way girls match, Double or Nothing, so nobody really got over. But if Nyla Rose, if she had squashed these 2 girls who are not going to, I'm sorry, draw 15 cents. Well, I can't even say that now. God, that would be the old saying, as Dundee used to say, won't draw 15 cents in Chinese money, but I'm not saying it about these young ladies. They couldn't draw money if you fucking gave them paper and green crayon with these Japanese girls. They're too tiny. They could have set Nyla Rose up as a beast. They've got Britt Baker. She was a good worker from what I saw. She's attractive. She's well-spoken. She is a marketable personality because she's a legitimate doctor. Dentistry. Have Nyla Rose give that fucking knee to fucking Dr. Britt Baker and put her in the hospital and a concussion, and she's got to come back and fight this. Think ahead. You haven't even started your TV yet, and you're burning through moves and talent and ideas that you could make money with later on. Fuck. Anyway, here comes a 4-way. We just got finished with the 3-way. Now we're going to have a 4-way. But thankfully, the first person out was MJF. And business picked up. And the promo he cut, you saw his in-ring promo?
Oh, yeah, I watched this.
I watched it twice. I backed it up and watched it again from scratch. And was jealous of him because I'll say it here, he is better than me. Or at least he's better than I was when I was 22. How about that?
Wow, that's a big statement.
I'm just telling you. Everything that I would ever teach or critique in a wrestling school, seminar, training camp, or whatever are things that he is doing properly. Anyway.
How often you think he would have been stabbed in Mid-South?
Oh, he'd be dead. He'd be dead. They'd have killed him. And especially if you could say shit like he could, because we could say some off-brand shit related to, possibly racism or sexism, but not just blatantly fucking insulting as holy shit. Anyway, here comes Jungle Boy. He came to the ring riding Luchasaurus, and he was introduced at 157 pounds. More on Jungle Boy shortly. Here comes Jimmy Havoc. Then here came Adam Page. Thank God. But here's the problem. As I've mentioned, MJF's a main event talent. Adam Page is a main event talent. This was more bullshit where two guys have to disappear for long stretches of a time so that the two other guys can work. And this is also now further handicapped by two top guys having to sell for and have them get in the way of two preliminary guys, and in Havoc's case, a physically ridiculous preliminary guy. Jungle Boy, he's in great shape. He's painfully thin, right? But he's in great shape, and I can see the charisma. I can see the physical charisma. I can see why people like him. He's got the pedigree. He's the son of a famous actor. Yes. This is a project for weekly TV. Instead of just throwing out Jungle Boy to a national audience and accept him as he is, folks, here he is. It's Jungle Boy. Rewind it. Wait till your weekly television show goes on the air. Start from scratch. Tell his story from the beginning. Explain who he is and who his father was. Now he's worked his way up to finally get a shot with All Elite Wrestling. And then maybe beat him like a drum for the first little while. Because you can. People are going to like him anyway and let him do his shit, but beat him like a drum. Then give him an upset. Then treat it like the 1, 2, 3 kid. Holy shit. Then he comes along. Then take a year with it. Maybe he'll gain some weight. Encourage him to drink milkshakes all the while. But don't just put him out there and present him now. He's green, but he's got a lot of potential. But tell the story and explain to people why he gets a pass because he's 150 pounds, because of his special athleticism and determination. And he's getting beat. He's not going to beat these guys right off the bat, but boy, just his courage. And then he gets the upset. And you follow along for a year on a weekly TV show, A Journey. The people getting the first look at him and he's just expected to be competitive. Your new audience that you're supposed to get is going to go, what the fuck? Anyway, however, this match, unfortunately, even though I like a couple guys in it, it was a bunch of guys doing shit to each other because it can't be anything else. There's no, the original triple threat match in Smoky Mountain was because, as we've mentioned, Dirty White Boy and Tracy Smothers and Brian Lee all had a grudge against each other. You had a straight baby face, you had a straight heel, and you had a heel who was becoming a sympathetic figure in the overall arc of the thing. And they all had a grudge with each other. It made sense. But multiple person matches without a grudge against all three of the individuals and everybody really wanting to be for themselves is just a bunch of guys doing shit to each other. You could have given Adam Page a win over Jimmy Havoc or anybody else besides Jimmy Havoc, a credible professional athlete. You could have given MJF a win over Jungle Boy, had two singles out of this, or better yet, you could have just had Page and MJF and had Page beat MJF. It wouldn't have hurt him because them together was fantastic. And that fucking heat seeker pile driver that MJF does is great. And the buckshot lariat from Adam Page is a super move. And I wish he'd use that as his finish instead of set it up. But Page did beat Havoc, and that's the best result you could have got. But anyway. Then they did another package on Cody and Dustin at Double or Nothing, which was fantastic. And then we go to Darby Allin. And tell me what you think of Darby Allin before I go anywhere, because we haven't talked about this.
No, we haven't. By the way, this is my second exposure to Darby Allin. My first was, and I said this on the drive-thru, when you had me watch The Wrestlers about Gabe Sapolsky, that episode. He was one of the featured featured people in that documentary. So my thoughts on him are based on this match. And I think there's something there with him.
Okay, it's an in-depth.
Well, no, I think he has the ability to connect by taking an ass beating, which is kind of what he did here.
I don't know how to say this, but usually, you know how I like when guys' gimmicks, as the young folks say, their characters, with the way they're presented when it's as legitimate as possible, right?
Right.
You know what takes me out of this guy? Knowing that his gimmick is legitimate. If I had not seen The Wrestlers and I'd seen him here first, I think I'd be a fan. And I'll tell you what, but I saw The Wrestlers and I'm holding my nose trying to compliment him. Because I think I mentioned when we recapped The Wrestlers, I believe that they liked it on Twitter. The term was one of those skateboard fucks. But this is the guy that he and his friends were pepper spraying each other in the face for fun. If they didn't execute a skateboard move properly, then they had to stand there and let the other guy pepper spray him in the face, and they had milk standing by and everything, and they just do shit like this just out because he's one of these troubled Utes, as Joe Pesci might put it. And they took, and he was doing the skateboard thing and this apparently is legitimate because he don't give a shit whether he gets hurt or not. He likes getting hurt because it allows him to feel something or whatever the fuck that this fucking whole generation thinks. I don't fucking know. So while I'm looking, saying I would say this is a great gimmick. This guy works this gimmick. He's got a different look. He's got a different attitude. I'm seeing it in his eyes, except that his gimmick is he really is a dumb, stupid fuck who wants to get hurt and pepper sprays himself on purpose. I'm so conflicted because that's the one type of human being that I naturally want to scoff at, but yet if it was just a wrestling gimmick and I knew that somewhere in my subconscious, I would like this. He does everything wrong. He's wrestling in tennis shoes and leggings of some kind and shorts, but on him it looks good because he's weird. You got to be fucking with Chris Colt, right?
No, of course, yes.
He's quick, he's athletic, he's intense. Painfully thin, Don Knotts style thin, but he has great balance because he's a skateboard fuck, did we mention? And he takes good bumps and different bumps. At one point, Cody went fucking, grabbed his head and went to run him across the ring, and what you thought run his head into the turnbuckle, and he turned sideways like Jimmy Snuka used to in the late 70s Mid-Atlantic. The way Snuka used to be thrown out of the ring, where he would launch himself through the ropes between the second and third rope and turn on his way through. But Allin did that through the turnbuckles, went all the way to the floor and could have killed himself. It was dangerous, but it was a holy fuck different bump. And I must mention, we had the discussion of the female referee. The female referee is Aubrey Edwards. And she did a very good job here and was very legit with this. So, and it didn't look too, because she was also, at least her thighs were bigger than Darby Allin, so she didn't look like she's too out of place there. Cody obviously led this. The pace, it made sense. It was up and down. There was a roller coaster. He toyed with him because he was so physically so much bigger and more dominant, and he's a star. But then he gave him the big spots where he'd come back and foil Cody some way. I would hesitate to think. I would assume that Cody is the biggest name veteran, most experienced wrestler that this guy has probably ever been in the ring with. So I would say that this is probably Darby Allin's best match ever in life, psychologically and work-wise, I would think. Because I don't know when he would have ever been in a building this big in front of this many people with a guy like Cody. Would he have ever been in that position before anywhere?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. So basically it was Cody was making this, and that's the thing. Cody, in every one of his matches, I don't see any tomfoolery or any silliness or any obvious what the fuck.
I'm starting to come around on Cody, because this is now the second AEW show in a row where his segment, I call it that because it seems like the segment he's booking, it's the best one on the show, and it's the one that connects with me for what kind of wrestling I want more than any other segment on the show. So I got to give him credit.
And did you notice also that he even set up when he gave Darby the flurry and Cody powdered out to the floor, Darby Allin's going to do the dive, and Cody was distracted and turned at the very last minute. So boom, it looked like it wiped him out. He never saw it coming instead of standing there, right? Then the two spots everybody's talking about. And I don't know how they fucking switched these in order of importance. Let's put it that way. The Nestea plunge backwards off the top rope. Darby Allin, Cody's laying on the apron. Darby Allin climbs up with his back to Cody and then just falls straight backwards. Cody moves. Allin hits the apron, hits actually the corner of the edge of the ring, not even flat on the apron, the edge of the ring, back first, spine first, boom. As Lance Storm mentioned, spinal stenosis happens one stupid incident at a time, and then bounces off on the floor. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't know why that it was, if he did it without asking, they ought to fire him. If he told him he was going to do it and they let him do it, then they're crazy. I don't know why Cody would okay something like that. And besides that, 30 seconds later, he was back in the ring on his feet. He'd thrown a kick. Cody had one of his feet, and he was hopping on his other fucking foot. Darby Allin was. 30 seconds later, that's the only... It wasn't silly, phony stupid. It was stupid, dangerous stupid. But anyway, then Cody put him in his body bag.
I mean, how does it compare to Cactus at the Clash in Texas against Mil Monsters?
Here's the thing. Cactus Jack still remains the only person, white, Hispanic, or any other nationality, that ever got over working with Mil Mascaras, whether he did a job or not. Because of that one bump. Because I knew he had to do something special. And we've told that story before. And I'd seen him do that before. And I went to him, I said, Cactus, if you're ever going to do that bump again, and I don't encourage you to, but you did it in Memphis for $50. This is national TV. If you're ever going to fucking do it, now's the time to do it, because it will get you over. Otherwise, this fucking guy's going to just kill you, just bury you. And he did it. And that it was half as dangerous as from half the height as this fucking thing. And without a goddamn apron in the middle, where hitting the apron was actually worse than hitting the floor. Plus, Darby Allin has an extra, or Cactus Jack had an extra 125 pounds of padding. But it didn't get him over, because it was forgotten, except by the highlight reel, as soon as he got back in the ring and continued a fucking match. And then Cody tried to give some time to put him in his body bag that he'd brought out, but then told him about blah, 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 and then hit him with the crossroads just in the nick, but it was a 20-minute draw. That elevated Darby Allin enough. Going to a draw with Cody Rhodes without taking that fucking bump. But once again, if I was a booker and I had a guy come to me and pay me a large sum of money to let me do that, take that bump, right? Or let him take that bump. If it was on a giant platform, if it was our first network TV show and it was an angle with a guy, he could have taken the same bump. He could have been going to the top, and a guy that he's in a match with, a program with, featured in a main event. And he goes to the top to come off, but the guy throws something or does something and hits him in the face and knocks him backward, and he takes that same bump. And then they stop the match. And they bring in a stretcher and the ambulance. And he's in a fucking body cast for a week or two. And then he comes back to get even. Then you've got, just to take that fucking bump. Jesus. And then anyway, here comes what everybody was so mad about. Here comes Shawn Spears with a chair shot. And I saw him. He didn't swing it irresponsibly hard, in a dangerous fashion. His aim was not even that entirely off. It was the lip of the seat back. And thanks to the executive vice presidents, those simpering simpleton assholes, the Young Bucks, on the press conference, well, we gimmicked it, but it didn't work. They actually came out and said they gimmicked their own fucking chair on their own show. But what they were attempting to do was take the fucking pin out of the seat thing so that the seat fucking flies up at easier or whatever. But what happens sometimes when you hit a guy with a chair and it was turned the right way, that seat back when you're sitting in it, the part that goes right up in between your shoulder blades, the back, that's a lip. When it's folded up, it's curved. And that hit him on the top of the fucking head. And shit happens. His aim was just a smidge off. And you would have thought that you would have thought they'd have done anything that they did in the last fucking match. People were so upset. It's a fucking chair shot. And Cody didn't want to put his fucking hands up, and the way the guy swung it, once again, I'm not trying to reveal all the magic. The Young Bucks have already beat me to it, but it wouldn't have been that bad. So they're upset over that, but they're not upset over what we will get to shortly. And the juice helped the angle.
I thought the match actually was a little too long. It should have been a 15-minute draw. I felt like it dragged a little bit.
Well, yeah. Well, once they took that bump and then the fucking body bag and the whole thing, 15 minutes would have been good. But then they're gonna do their first draw. They want to make it 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
But
and then what I was saying before about Cody's segment, just think about the last two shows. The things I actually am curious about and care about now are what's going to happen next with Dustin, now that he's teaming with Cody against the Bucks, but what's for the future for Dustin? What's going on with Cody and MJF? Because MJF was the first guy out there to save him. Very dusty roads. Everyone comes out to save him.
Yes, and MJF goes over the top at the press conference to talk about how he can remind everybody that he was the first one out to help his good friend Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've established Darby Allin, and then also you have now Shawn Spears in the mix. I'm actually curious about the Cody stuff. They're doing a good job with that.
Well, also, are they going to finally have a Young Bucks match that I enjoy? Because the next one wasn't it.
Ooh.
Well, and once again, so everybody's upset over this fucking chair shot and stuff like this. See, here's the thing. If you do things right, shit like that or other shit can look like the hardcore deathmatch stuff in theory. One move can be the same, and even though it's perfectly safe or done by a professional. When you start getting fucking state legislatures and government agencies regulating what can and can't be done, then you end up with WWE even being told not to do certain things. And it'd be simple things that might hamper people's enjoyment of wrestling. But there was fortunately no enjoyment of wrestling in the next match. Here's the fucking thing. What do you expect me to say? It's the Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid. It's Pentagon, Rey Fenix, and Laredo Kid against the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. I've seen matches with the Lucha Brothers in MLW where they were against other luchadors, and it was a good lucha match. It's not my cup of tea, but I didn't have a problem with it because it's a Mexican cultural phenomenon and tradition. However, when you get these other fucking punks in the mix, I didn't at first. The Bucks come out dressed as video game characters because that's where they'd done the deal where they lost their bags, but they got new gear, right? Then suddenly a guy ran up on the ramp Then the lights went out. Then the lights came back on, and Omega was dressed as a video game character standing over the guy. You never saw him hit him. And I don't fucking know. So they're all dressed up like video game. Within the first minute of the match, Laredo Kid grabbed a right-armed headlock. He grabbed a headlock bigger than shit with the right arm, and one of the Young Bucks just went right ahead and shot him off like it was normal. But they started out having a tag match. Then they all jumped in and had a six-way, just on and on and on. Then everybody rolled out and started over. Then they all jumped and flipped and did shit to each other back and forth. Then everything stopped so Omega and Pentagon could stand there and stare at each other and do some long contrived thing where one guy pulled his glove off and the other guy did this. And basically this whole thing looked like a fucking video game, which is what these fucking idiots are going for. You have... I don't know about Laredo Kid. As soon as I saw the headlock with the right arm, I wrote him off. But the Lucha Brothers are big stars in Lucha Libre. And if they're against other luchadors, as I said, I'm fine with it. But when they're against a couple of white grade school kids really cosplaying wrestlers, I've accused them of cosplaying wrestlers before. Now they are. There's no sense to this. It's just moves back and forth. Sometimes it's a six-way. Sometimes they're tagging. So I decided, well, when I got fed up with it, let me see how far I can skip, and they're still going. And wouldn't you know, I skipped 10 minutes, and there was the finish. Boom. So the last 10 minutes, I don't know what the fuck they did, but from the highlight reel, it looks like they had 7 real good matches or 1 scrambled egg fucking mess.
Oh, you didn't get to hear Jim Ross then call the move from Street Fighter 2 where they pretend they're throwing it's not even a fireball. It's kind of like a energy force ball, and the other guys all go down.
No. Oh, Siri, no, what?
I mean, he didn't see, it's not like he called it for real.
No, but did they really do a thing where they threw invisible fucking shit at the other guys and they went down?
Yes, it happened one time. All 3 guys did it to the other 3 guys. All
right, but you know what? Fuck all of you fucking pricks. Fuck you goddamn Mexicans too for going for it. Fuck everybody in that fucking match. And I'm actually disappointed in Jim Ross. He didn't fucking stand up and walk out. I double dog dare you. Find fucking videotape that ever will exist until the end of time of me calling the rest of a match after a guy takes a bump off a fucking invisible object that's thrown at him on purpose. Fuck. All right, let's get this fucking finished then, because now I'm even more disgusted than ever. Here comes fucking Joey Janela, announced at 202 pounds. He's a pudgy schmo in a T-shirt with a goofy haircut making faces like he's a badass. Here comes John Moxley. He looks good. He's got a great attitude. He looks like somebody. He comes down full of piss and vinegar. Janela looks like shit. Here is my contemporaneous note that this clown was presented as competitive to John Moxley, devalued Moxley. They fought all over the place. They had a table out in the first 2 minutes. Janela milks the people on everything way too much, especially when he raises his arms. His chest looks smaller, his arms look thinner, and his midsection and pudgy ass looks thicker. Moxley brought out a barbed wire chair, put it on Janela, and stomped on it. Then Janela hit him with it. I did like they did the lights out gimmick. Of course, Eddie Graham's spinning in his grave over this fucking match, but they did do the lights out gimmick beforehand for the first time since heyday of championship wrestling from Florida, where they explained the lights out match, why it was non-sanctioned, and dimmed the lights on and back off before that. And then they poured shit into their ring. Here are my notes. They're glorifying garbage wrestling and garbage wrestlers and using $1 million budget to do it and risking the health of one of their main event talents at the same time. Now, I know Moxley was leading this, and I know he was doing things as safely as possible, but he still got cut up. He took risks to fucking make a fucking untrained backyard goof look competitive to one of your big crossover signing from the WWE is insane. That, once again, this is malfeasance and fiduciary irresponsibility on behalf of whoever spent Tony Khan's money on John Moxley and then did this to him. Then I started skipping ahead. I'd skip ahead a bit. Here's another table. I'd skip ahead. There's a barbed wire board they went through. Skip ahead, more tables. Then finally I skip ahead. Janela does an elbow drop off a giant ladder in the ring, over the top rope, through tables on the floor. I skip ahead. They've got thumbtacks in the ring. I can't explain to you the disdain I have now that these idiots' parents actually had sexual relations to create them at this point in time. They got thumbtacks in the ring, and Moxley takes Janela's tennis shoes off and his socks off and threw him feet first in the tacks. Then hit his DDT into the tacks. 1, 2, 3. This started as me saying they have a major main event superstar here, and they have put him in the ring with a garbage wrestler. What the fuck? And by the time it was over with, I don't want to see Jon Moxley anymore. I don't want to see him for taking part in this stupid shit. And I wouldn't want to see him as a wrestling fan just because if it takes him 20 minutes and all this shit to beat Joey Janela, how can I buy him against anybody real? And then here comes Omega, who I thought was a babyface, but attacks and demolishes Jon Moxley, who I thought was a babyface, but they did jump each other at the last show. So after Moxley is carried 20 minutes or more by this fucking backyard outlaw guy and does everything in the world to beat him, then it devalues Moxley. Then Omega comes out and leaves Moxley laying. And that was it, folks. So there was some good, and there's also still a lot of stupid. And I don't know what the fuck. It's not like people couldn't see this a mile away. They can't be blind enough to think that some of this fucking outlaw talent that they're sticking in with their stars is going to get over just because 300 people in a barn somewhere cheer for some of this shit. And Tony Khan already came out and said they're not going to have hardcore matches or garbage matches or whatever they're going to call them like that on TV, you think? Why should you have them at all? Why New Albany train wreck wrestling with a big budget is what they just presented, instead of the opportunity to showcase guys like Paige and MJF and fucking Moxley against anybody who's working, and or Daniels or Sky. It's like they're schizophrenic. They have great athletes and great work at Cody and workers interspersed with the worst instincts of outlaw mud show wrestling.
Too many cooks.
So I'm going to, and now here's the thing. I'm going to watch the Young Bucks. When is that match? They were telling me all through Fyter Fest.
White Lake.
Yeah.
Dr. Dombeck.
I'm not sure exactly of the date of that match, but it's coming up soon. I will get you the information.
I may not be able to watch it live. It just depends on what's going on, but I'm going to see if Cody and Dustin Rhodes together can perpetrate and execute a Young Bucks match that I'm going to enjoy.
Plus Jericho, I think, may be back on that show.
Well, and Jericho, and isn't that Jericho and Paige?
Maybe so.
Well, we got some potential here. But I know they'll figure out some way to take that steel-toed boot off and shoot themselves in the foot. Anyway,
when are you going to watch a Raw now that Paul Heyman's running the show?
Well, they said don't expect any drastic changes. So let me know when the bitch is 2 quarts low. Let me know when the drastic changes. You got that. I don't know if anybody else did. Let me know when the drastic changes occur, and I'll start watching.
All right.
But anyway, I'm sorry. But if anybody can seriously, honestly, legitimately stand there and tell me that I am crazy in my assessment of this program, especially the hardcore match, and especially both of the hardcore matches, whether you can't do them whether you've got experienced veterans in them or not, because it's just stupid and it's just goofy. So anyway, if anybody takes issue with this, I'm sorry, but I am praising what I see praiseworthy. Nobody talks about it. I do spend more time on the other stuff because so far there's been more of it. So that's my advice to all Elite Wrestling for this week on The Experience. In the words of the immortal Star Maker Bolin, do more of the good shit and less of the bad shit. That's my advice. And for everybody else, including all the fucking idiots that slice themselves up and bleed all over the general public at Trainwreck Wrestling in New Albany, Indiana. And once again, my hometown, the center of garbage wrestling in the world. It's going to cause nothing but problems and nobody will ever listen. But for everybody else out there, thank you, fuck you, and until next week, bye-bye, everybody.